everybody, I'm Lorii Abela, your soulmate expert and Asian matchmaker. Welcome to tonight's episode of Matchmaker Secrets, where we talk about love, dating, and relationships. And of course, matchmaking. So our guest tonight is Matt Deputat, who is a freight broker by profession. And he describes himself as hilarious, believing that one can never take life too seriously after all. And he looks for everything. Weekend trips, live shows, fun dates, witty banter, and someone fun to get through this thing called life with. So hello, Matt, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good. So this last name you said that came from which country?
France.
Okay,
my last name is French.
So how do you know it's French where you're Italian?
Well, my father's French.
You're a combination.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. You're a Matt. Okay, really Matt.
My mother is Sicilian. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So which one do you like better, the Italian or the French food?
I'm biased. I got Italian.
All
I gotta
right.
say Italian.
Okay, so I understand you've been dating for a while, and so how would you differentiate dating in the East Coast? Because you said that you came from the East Coast, from the Midwest.
Sure. There's not too many differences, just mostly personality differences. I think East Coasters tend to be fast talkers. They can be brutally honest. Some might say take that offensively, or they think you're aggressive or confrontational. Not always the case, but that's sort of how we're perceived. Whereas I've also briefly spent some time on the West Coast. West Coast is almost too focused on people's feelings to the point where you don't entirely know somebody's motivations. You don't necessarily know if they're being genuine. Whereas here in the Midwest, I'm finding, I've been out in Chicago for 2.5 years now, it's kind of a perfect mix of both. You get a little bit of that Midwestern charm and hospitality to bring you in, but they're also willing to call you out, if you're, being disingenuous or, need to be called out on something. So I think it's Chicago, Midwest, it's kind of a good mix of the East Coast and West Coast personality type.
So do you think you have changed already? Because I came from New York as well, and so I've seen how brutal can be over there. So but have you actually transitioned to more laid back a little bit with your the way that you communicate?
Yes. Yeah. I've scaled it back a little bit because I've kind of, I don't want to be received or taken the wrong way. So I, sort of check myself a little bit.
Yeah. I remember when I was I was driving from New York when I came here by car to Chicago. And, when I reached the toll in Chicago, the person said thank you. And I was thinking what is this person talking about? Right. You don't hear that anywhere in New York or even New Jersey. No,
keep
thank
it moving.
You. yeah. Pronto, hurry up.
That's right.
Okay. So I also understood that you like Marvel movies and sports. So how do women react to that kind of interest that you have? Women most likely are not shocked to hear this now. It's kind of a popular cultural thing. I think women they want to gauge and make sure, how interested are you in these things? Are you so into sports that I can't talk to you on Sunday when football's on? Or are you just you pay attention, you're going to watch your team, but that tends to be my experience. I don't think there's a major stigma, but I also think you just want to be aware, how much of a Marvel nerd are you? How much do you like the movies? Yeah. Because one time I came across somebody, he also has a TV show over here, and he has a collection of all those characters. And he showcased them here, and I was thinking wow, that's a guy who has real passion for those. Do you collect things as well?
I do. There's these things called Funko Pop figures. They're like bobbleheads, but they're not entirely. But they make them for literally any character in any TV show, movie, video game that you've probably ever heard of. So I do collect those, and I'll just put them on my wall or on my hutch on my desk or something like that. But I try to keep them out of the way, but I keep them in my space. Like that's, my own little decoration.
So have you ever had any other collection before aside from this one which you're talking about?
I grew up, I've always kind of collected little trinkets and like when I was growing up, I collected Beanie Babies. I've since sold them and whatnot, but like DVDs, video games, things that I'm interested in, I'll collect little things here and there. Yeah.
Okay. No, I just want to emphasize that because that's something that some women don't understand, that men have collections. So like you have to just deal with it because they like what they collect. And so like I'm sure women also has a collection of shoes or bags. So
Sure.
So everybody has a collection. So just just be patient, as long as as he was saying, they don't take much of their, quality time with you, then that's perfect. So, you just turned 40. And so what are you looking for now, as far as dating and relationship is concerned?
I'm looking for the real thing. I would love to find my, partner in life, someone that I can settle down with. I would very much prefer not to continue to have to go on another first date every month or couple of months, whatever the case may be. So yeah, I'm looking for a real connection and someone that I can build a life with and carry on my future with.
Is there a pressure because you're from Italian family, you're close knit, so is there pressure from your family members?
No, my family's pretty great in that regard. I think culturally, yes, I feel that pressure. And I kind of when I think about my friends, I have a lot of friends who are now married. They've had a couple of kids, and I don't have those things yet. So there is that kind of cultural pressure, but my parents have never put that personal pressure on me. My mom is always, I have 2 brothers and a sister. I'm the oldest. So she's never put that kind of pressure on any of us. She's just like, I want you to be happy. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be successful. And, she's like, it'd be great if one of you could give me a grandkid, but, she's not making it awkward at family dinners and, things like that.
Okay. All right. So, I'm just wondering, what are you looking for in a woman?
Someone who's kind and thoughtful, generous, a good sense of humor is really important to me. As someone, I don't take life too seriously. I like to laugh. I love stand-up comedy, movies, art, theater. So someone who's a little bit more open in that area. And someone who's a little bit softer and gentler. I can be a little bit on the harsher side, so someone who can kind of balance me out, I think, is something that I need.
What is your zodiac sign?
What's that?
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Pisces.
Okay, all right. Yeah. You're relatively calm, actually, the Pisces. So, I know that you like humor. So, does it mean that they should understand your humor or something? I'm not sure what kind of humor you have anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's a subjective thing, right? Everybody's got their own kind of sense or style. I don't think they need to have my sense of humor per se. I do think, a woman that I'm in a relationship with at least needs to appreciate my sense of humor, even if she doesn't share it herself. Someone who's not gonna belittle me or look down on me or look at me differently because of my sense of humor.
Okay. So did you actually take some classes on stand-up improv?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
I actually last summer I did take a Second City improv course here in Chicago, but I also got my master's in the fine arts. So I am a trained actor. I've taken other acting and improv classes as well. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so, so how are you meeting people now? Because not sure how long have you had your last relationship?
My last relationship was about a year ago. So I've truly been single for the past year. I'm primarily meeting people now from online dating, like either Facebook dating and Bumble are the 2 apps that I utilize the most. But I'm trying to branch out and get out a little bit more and try to meet people more organically. It's so frustrating now to just text on apps and your connection is so disjointed. I text you on Tuesday, you respond on Thursday. Next thing you know, it's been 2 weeks. We haven't even met for coffee yet. It's so hard. So I'm trying to go out and socially and, meet people kind of the old-fashioned way. So that's a goal that I have in 2024 while using the apps as well.
Okay. So is that the way people talk? Like they say hi and then your response is hi as well?
I try not to. I try to actually read like a woman's profile, and if I'm curating a intro message, I'll try to base it off of something that I read or a picture that I saw, something, try to spark up a conversation that way. I think it's more that even though we're all glued to our phones, we all have our phones on us all the time, we're not all glued to our dating apps, or many people, I know a lot of people that have more than just, I use 2, but I know a lot of people have maybe 10, dating. There's so many. And so it's hard to keep track. You're not looking at them all the time. So yeah, sometimes it can get frustrating. It can feel like you're being ignored and then, when I actually talk to the person, like, no, I wasn't ignoring you. I don't check Bumble every, 5 times a day or whatever it is. So.
Yeah. So that Bumble, like, do you think like it's useful because like it's usually the women who's actually doing the acknowledgement, right, at first?
Well, in my experience, so in Bumble, the woman has to message first. So she'll message me, but it'll usually be something like, hey, what's going on, or something simple, and it puts it back on me to kind of have that initial conversation. But I also kind of expect that, and I think that that's normal. Because I think too, when it comes to dating and courtship, generally speaking, the woman likes to be pursued. Mm-hmm. So as the man, I need to, do the pursuing and kind of put in that initial effort. Like that first step needs to come from me. That's kind of how I approach it.
Okay. So Facebook has been existing for a long time. So I'm not sure, like, are there a lot of people more in Facebook dating rather than in Bumble?
Honestly, I find it to be, I feel like it's kind of the same, like in terms of the pool or the overall number. Like I don't run out of potential options to swipe on or whatnot. One of the differences with like Facebook dating is we don't need to match in order for me to send you a message. Mm-hmm. Like if I see your profile and I find you interesting and attractive and I want to reach out to you, I can just do that right off the bat. Now, if you don't respond, I can't follow up. I can't harass you or spam you with messages. So that's probably I think that's the best of both worlds, because it allows me the opportunity to introduce myself in a certain way. And if that works for you, then you can respond. If not, you don't have to, and it's no big deal.
So do you have to pay for Facebook dating?
You do not, no.
Really?
I think it was like an add-on to the Facebook app.
Okay.
Like 2 years ago. I don't know, whenever it was that they added it. It was sort of just one of those updates that just kind of came by. I was like, what is Facebook dating? And then I think they do the same thing. Like they take single profiles in your area. You can kind of curate it based on a distance and, what you're looking for. But yeah.
Yeah, because like, I always hear about the different dating apps, but recently somebody came about saying that, oh, you know what? I come across your friend. I was thinking like, oh my God, my friend in Facebook dating. And it says in Facebook dating, they're actually a match. And I was thinking like, well, that's interesting.
That's a good point. That is a unique feature. It will tell you, like when you're looking at a profile of somebody that you're on the dating app, it'll tell you if you have any mutual friends. So now you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe that could be a conversation starter too, right? Like, how do you know? How long have you known Brian? I'm his best friend, for 20 years, that type of thing. But it is a little bit jarring too, because you're like, I don't know this person, but this person knows my friend. So you got to be kind of. No,
yeah, it's funny because I told him like, okay, don't worry, I'm not gonna tell my friend that we actually talked, because like he was coming to me as in my profession as a matchmaker. I said like, don't. But I told him some interesting things about her, because like he has told me a lot of things about like what he's looking for, and so I just gave him some nuggets like, okay, these are the things that she has in her personality that can actually work for you. But yeah, it's never thought like I always have heard about Bumble or Hinge or Match and OkCupid. So, but first time I heard Facebook dating, because like you said, it's you, but the thing though is that I didn't even know people use it. I thought that people just, actually like stalk on you over there, like in the Facebook.
A little bit both, because if you message somebody, they can go right to your Facebook profile, and now it's like, whereas like on Bumble, right? Like you don't know my last name, you don't know how to find me on necessarily. Like I guess you could deep dive. You might be able to find me, but
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so like just be very careful with what you put in your Facebook now. I call on some girls sometimes because they still have the pictures of their ex, like in their favorite photos, because like on the left side they have pictures of like highlight photos, and I call on them. Sometimes they don't even have the correct location where they are at because they moved from another state. And then I was thinking like, okay, you're telling me that you're interested with matchmaking, but you're saying that you are in Florida. So, but you're saying to me, you're answering me from Chicago, and then, I said like you have to better adjust it.
Where are you at? Yeah,
it can be confusing. And then there are some people who will actually put photos, but photos of their children. I was thinking like, who wants to date a child? Right. So like you have to actually adjust it, and then, we live in a cold weather city, and then like sometimes people there was a firefighter who posted his picture wearing his how do you call that, his uniform. And then he sent another picture wherein he has a beanie, and I was thinking like, okay, now women are going to be curious, do they have hair? Because they are always covering their head. Like I think it's
right. It's a red flag, right? If you have all pictures of hats, you might not have hair.
I understand. Like some really will not have all their head of hair. But the thing though is that if you have your hair, might as well.
It's tricky to curate a proper dating profile, right? Like you got to have pictures with people to show that you have friends in your social, but not too. You can't have all pictures with people. You got to have some that just you, like so they can see who you are. You got to find the right balance. And
yeah, that's true. And then like there's some people who put their pets as their profile picture together with themselves, and I was thinking like, okay, maybe they'll fall in love with your pet, but they're not with you. So like,
what I've learned is as a guy, do not put pictures of yourself holding fish. That's just not. It's too cliche. It's overdone. Don't do it. Just you could be a fisherman, but.
Okay, all right. And so for you, like, I'm just wondering, do your parents actually say anything like, okay, I'm not, happy with this lady that you're dating? I don't know how close you are with your family.
I'm very close with my family, very open and honest with them. I've never had my parents not like somebody that I've brought home, but that's also because I'm very deliberate with that. Like I know exactly the type of person I'm looking for. I know my family very well. So it's like if we're at the point in a relationship where you're coming back to the East Coast and I'm going to introduce you to my family, I already know that they're going to like you and appreciate you, and and accept you just as you. Like my family trusts me to make a good decision for myself. So they don't. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I have one last question for you. Like, Chicago is multicultural. Are you specifically looking for like somebody who's, a specific race only, or like you're open to anybody? And I'm not sure how does it work for you.
No, I'm open to anybody, all races, religions. I'm not restricted to, just an Italian woman or something like that. No, I'm open to everybody and anybody.
Okay. All right, sounds good. So thank you so much again for your time being with us, Matt. And then for those people who are watching, if you are single, you want to find out how can you navigate love, we can invite you over here, so maybe we can give you some pointers. And also for those people who are already in a relationship, if you have been in a relationship for a long time, maybe you have some nuggets that you want to share to those people who are watching us, because I'm sure you have some reasons why you have become successful in your relationship. We want to help people over here, so just give us a holler so we can have you here. And we'll see you soon. Thank you again, Matt, and bye-bye.
Thank you.